Hey y'all, and good morning. Well, today we are on the last day of our container challenge. So if you haven't watched those, make sure to go back and watch because we did some sweet peas, then we did my favorite container, then we did our little long container. We used up a lot of the plants that we grew from seed, so that was super exciting. But today we are going to be doing my favorite plant, the Supertunia Vista Bubblegum. And this plant was the one that made me just fall in love with gardening. It just made me feel like, oh my goodness, I can grow anything. And the first year that we lived here, I had a beautiful display of the Supertunia Vista bubblegums, and I got known as the pink house. So I'm the lady with the pink flower house. So anyway, we're going to get these planted up, and we have a really cool planter that we're going to use that we've not used in a couple of years. So I'm excited to get those back out of retirement and get them into our yard because I think they're going to be super pretty. So let me show you what they're going to be growing in. Okay, so we have these really neat iron holders here. So we're going to be using our cocoa liners and this one here as well. So one of these Savannah, I think, bought, and the other one was left when we bought their townhouse for them when they were in college. So they are still doing good, and we're going to get these planted up. And I'm so excited because I think they're so pretty and they're going to look so good around our swimming pool. I'm going to go ahead and take this one out. I did go ahead and buy some new liners. So the most complicated part of planting these up is just to get a place for them to sit. So I think I'm going to use my bucket here. So this is kind of where they're going to sit. And then we're going to use our cocoa liner. We'll go in there, and I'll have to use two hands. And then also another trick that I've used through the years, because these dry out super, super fast. And those bubble gums, they like lots of water. So what I'm going to do is put some soil down. I'm going to add a little tray, which will help to keep some water in, and then the rest of the soil, so it doesn't just all fall out the bottom. I've really been enjoying doing my planting up here. So nice to have a place, because I was like using the yard as a place to plant, and that wasn't working out very good. So I'm just going to add a little soil on the bottom. Okay, so we have it like that. Then we're going to add our little tray in like that. And we're going to go ahead and fill this up. I didn't think about that. I really didn't need the bucket. I can just set it in here. This is one of the beverage galvanized tubs that you can get to put drinks in. And so we've used it before in the past for ice and drinks, but it was just sitting in the garage, and I was like, well, I might as well use it for something. So I decided to put my soil in here. And so this has kind of been a nice place to put the soil. These take quite a bit of soil, don't they? Okay. Let's go ahead and start with some control release fertilizer. And then the biotone. This all mixed in here. So the Supertunias are really heavy feeders because they have lots and lots of blooms. So I'm also going to come in here with once a week a water soluble fertilizer, and I'll give them a good fertilizing every week. Okay, so I'm going to go in with the Supertunia Vista Bubblegum. And I'm going to kind of put it towards the middle, but kind of towards the side. Okay. Then we're going to go in with one of the Diamond Frost Euphorbias. I love this one. Such a good plant. And I kind of want it to go just all around. It'll just look so pretty, like snow. I have to dig that a little bit deeper. See? I do make a mess. Okay. And then we're going to go in with a couple of our New Look Dusty Millers that we grew from seed. It's going to be so pretty together. And these will get bigger and fill in. Let's put one on the other side. Okay. So it doesn't look like much right now, but this is going to fill out so beautifully. It's going to be so pretty. Let's go ahead and get our other one ready. Okay, so here's our other one. Get our cocoa liner in there. Oopsie. I'll have to fix those. I'm going to add a little dirt to the bottom, just like we did the other one. So when I was at the 4-star greenhouse last year in Michigan, Brian was talking with us about the Supertunias, the Superbinas, all the different petunia varieties, and he was telling us about the Japanese breeder who was the one who came up with the first Super Bells, or Calibrachoas, and the story about how he was in Brazil and on the side of the road he found this beautiful Calibrachoa and brought it back to Japan because it just had so many blossoms on it. And he's just become this world-renowned breeder of these Supertunias. So they're just like petunias, but just like grow really, really vigorously. And the Supertunia Vista Bubblegum is one of those. And it is a very vigorous petunias. I remember when I was growing up, my mom would buy petunias, and I just remember them being sticky and stinky, which they still are a little bit of those. Not too bad though. And you had to deadhead them. But these, you don't have to do any of that to them. You can deadhead them, but if you don't, they just bloom so profusely that you won't even notice the old blossoms. They just kind of dry up and fall off as the new ones come on. So it's so neat how they've been able to breed these in such a way where you can have such beautiful blooms. Okay, so let's do this one the same way. These are going to be so pretty, and I'll make sure to keep you guys updated on how they're doing. We're getting close to needing a May garden tour. Everything is blooming so beautifully. And then the Diamond Frost Euphorbia. So there's different types of Euphorbia. This is the Diamond Frost. There's the Diamond Snow. And then there's one more. But they are so pretty. and they don't have any problems with pests. They do well in the heat. They are just a awesome filler plant, and they just kind of give it that I don't know, like magical look to your arrangements. Okay. These are the last two of our Dusty Miller. Oopsie. I kind of like to come back and fill in with a little bit of dirt, and then sometimes even after I water, I'll have to come in with a little bit of more soil after everything's kind of settled. But the little trick with the tray, you wouldn't want to use it with something that doesn't require a lot of waters. Like I would think with like a Super Bells or the Calibracoa, they like to dry out between waterings. So I don't think I would recommend doing the little plastic tray underneath with those. But I know the Supertunias, they like water. And these cocoa liners tend to dry out really, really easily. I keep grabbing that cord. And so we want to make sure that they can keep a little moisture in there because it's going to get hot, guys. It's going to get super hot. Okay, let's get all these just kind of pressed in. I know you see some people when they're planting, you're like, do they ever like press them in? It's like they kind of floating in the dirt. Okay, so that is it. Look how pretty these are. So we're going to get these put into place and give them a drink of water. So I'm going to adjust their little chains. Here we go. I'm going to put this one right here so it'll kind of go in between our two pots. I think that'll look really sweet, like a cute little heart. Okay, guys, so that is going to do it for today. Thank you so much for joining us on this last day of our container competition. And if you've not watched the other ones, then definitely go back and watch them because we did some beautiful containers this year. Let me know in the other videos in the comments what you think about them. But if you've never tried the Supertunia Vista Bubblegum, definitely give her a try. I bought some for my mom this year, and she said it is outperforming all of her other petunias. So that just makes you like so happy when you see that when you go outside. So I hope you have a great day, guys, and I hope you have a chance to get in your gardens today. Thanks for gardening with me. Bye, friends.